So we are live in the Complete Fit monthly membership private Facebook group on today being Tuesday, the 18th of October. I couldn't remember the month then. And it is World Menopause Day. So this week, the membership is open for everyone to members and non-members to come and join to celebrate Menopause Awareness Month. And today we're starting with one of our expert talks on Menopause Awareness Day, which I think is very apt. And our topic of conversation today is stress and relaxation, which through menopause and before and after is something I think we all really need to be aware of. So before we start with our talk, I'd love to introduce to you Sarah Howard. Sarah, would you like to just give us an introduction to who you are, what you do, and maybe what stage you are of your menopause journey as well?
Okay. Hello, thank you for having me, Caroline. I'm Sarah Howard. I run a business that is called Therapeutic Aromas by Sarah Howard. I'm a reflexologist and massage therapist. I make aromatherapy products as well. I'm just coming to the end of the clinical essential oils course, which has been amazing. And the main focus, well, the clinical focus on that aspect was menopause, strangely enough. So yeah, it's been huge actually, and a lot of the reflexology work I do is focused on the menopause. I'm not quite sure what stage of menopause I'm at, to be fair. Having had a hysterectomy, I've still got my ovaries, so I've no idea whether I'm peri or I've actually gone through it, so I don't know.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Because again, different stages of menopause, different ways we've reached that stage. So
yeah, I still experience symptoms.
Yeah.
I'm trying to manage it. I've not been able to have HRT either because of family history of breast cancer and ovarian cancer. So I've been managing it with essential oils and try to do it with diet and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm working my way through it.
Oh, amazing. And lovely to know again what you do work-wise, again, you know, applying for yourself as well, and to be able to sort of share that with your clients and the benefits of using, knowing there's a variety of treatments we can have. It hasn't got to just be one way, it's got to be just HRT. And as you said, nutrition and movement, and so the essential oils and relaxation, which we'll get.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a huge learning curve for me and really helpful, being at that stage of life. So yeah, it's been really brilliant.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think it's so nice to be able to go through something yourself, isn't it? And to be able to then, you know, share that experience and then gather everybody else's experiences, or to be aware of what they're going through at this as well. Is stress something that you come across a lot with your clients?
It is, yes. A lot of people, I would say the vast majority of people come to me for stress-related conditions, or if they've got a condition or something that's happening in their body or whatever, quite often you find that that is stress related.
Yeah.
And some people don't even realise they're stressed.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, isn't it? Because sometimes different types of stress, we can have acute stress where it happens straight away, that sudden panic, deal with it, there's a problem and it's done. But then if we've got that constant underlying stress where we become used to it, we are always rushing around, busy, juggling plates, tired, and there's just that constant stress, then we become unaware. Maybe it becomes part of the normal, that's how things are, but actually the body and the mind is constantly at that level of stress until I suppose something then either makes us really realize, my goodness, things are really stressing, I need to make some changes, or I need some help with that. So yes, the knock-on effects of that.
Oh, definitely. I mean, a lot of people come to me, their shoulders are up here, and that's like being on the laptop, but we're human beings aren't designed to have that continued stress. Our prehistoric ancestors, the threat that they perceived was when they were being chased by a tiger or whatever. So they'd have that stress, the adrenaline would kick in, they'd run off and hopefully get away from it. And then they would have a rest phase. The stress is gone, so they would have time to recover. And we don't have that anymore because of the stresses and strains of life.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well, isn't it? So we've got the two types of stress. So we've got in our nervous system, we've got the parasympathetic nervous system and the brain fog, automatic nervous system. So that system that gives us the energy, the adrenaline to go and deal with it. And then, so that's our heightened system. We then want the, oh gosh, parasympathetic, the one to slow down, the rest and digest, so that we can then be ready to carry on. But if we don't ever slow down, our chasing the lion or being chased from a lion could be sitting in the car full of traffic, just feeling, and we don't actually get that switch off. We've got that constant sense of I'm being chased, I'm under pressure. Whereas the lion, it happens, you then recover and carry on.
So you've got the knock-on effect then. You've got the stress, but then that then leads to other things within your body. You get the brain fog where you can't concentrate. You get the digestive issues where your blood flow doesn't know where to go because it's trying to sort of get you ready for running away or standing up and fighting and that. And you've got nothing to fight because it's like fighting smoke. It's not actually a physical threat.
Gosh, that's a really good way of thinking about it, actually. Yeah, you are literally fighting smoke because it's not a thing there. I suppose, as you said, a lot of clients, and I think probably we're all very, maybe we're becoming more aware of it. We're not aware that we are constantly stressed for whatever reason. So being in midlife, and I think whether we're perimenopausal, postmenopausal, or even well beyond, we are always going to have stress. And at this stage of life, it might be that we've still got children, younger or older, at home, or maybe not at home, but with children with their families. And then we may have our parents and relatives or other people we need to care for. So also, whilst we're still working, running a business or being an employee, managing a household, trying to manage your life and the things that you want to do. So we've got all these things going on. So there's going to be stress at any time. And I suppose also not to mention if we have a health condition as well, or, you know, other things going on that add to that. It's a real mix, isn't it? And I think, as you say, being aware, taking the time to suddenly go, actually, why or how do I feel about things? And then maybe breaking it down of like, oh, actually, it's all a bit much.
Awareness is a good thing because, you know, as we've just said, some of us aren't aware. But when things are changing in our bodies, being aware and also accepting what's happening, it's really hard to accept things because we're constantly, oh no, I can't rest because I haven't got time. And it's sort of like, I'm actually feeling this way, I need to take a step back. I mean, we're not always able to do that, but you know, maybe just a few breathing exercises, because I mean, at the end of the day, if we haven't got time to go to a class or go running or, you know, physically sit down and meditate for half an hour, I'm not sure I could meditate for half an hour actually.
I struggle with a minute, if I'm honest.
No, but we've got to breathe, haven't we? So taking just 3 deep breaths to center, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and that brings you back into your body. That could be enough to refocus you, or at least give you a little bit of time to think, oh, actually,
yeah, just
yeah.
That's another point, thinking about taking that time, because we think we haven't got the time, but to actually to be present. How often are we actually here in the moment without thinking, well, that was this morning, I've got that to do later on, oh, and next week. We're constantly fitting. So again, I suppose the mind as well is just constantly all over the place, which again is going to add to that either apprehension of like, oh, I've got to get that done, or oh, I didn't, and the thoughts and the worries. Whereas if we just take those 3 deep breaths, just bring us right into the here and now. And it might be that that's just enough and it just calms us to carry on. But maybe the more attuned we become to that, we can then tune into actually, oh, I really feel like this, or I feel like that, whilst we're just breathing and we
Yeah,
build that into our sort of our stress toolbox, how to help with our stress, maybe manage our stress.
yeah, it is. It's really hard to do it. I did a relaxation for reflexology course a couple of years ago, and I can empathise with people that really go, oh, I can't do that. I can't sit down and meditate. I can't quieten my mind because it is hard. We're not used to doing that. As you just said, your mind's everywhere. Even when you're having a conversation with someone, these little thoughts creep in, don't they? Oh,
Yes.
put the washing out. I've got, and you find that you're drifting away, and I found it. I couldn't do it without a guide. So listening to something helped me do that. So, the 3 deep breaths is fine, but any more than that, it's just something to build on.
Yeah.
And maybe, as we spoke earlier, about a scent, using
Yes.
oil.
Yeah, that's something I know very little about. I mean, I smell something and think, oh, that's nice, that's lovely. I don't know why it may be more of a benefit for me. I mean, I suppose my only knowledge is lavender. Lavender is lovely and it's supposed to be very soothing and calming. What sort of scents and smells automatically come to mind with your experience to help with menopause? And I suppose with that, in terms of other things we may feel, we're stressed, so we want to calm, but also anxiety. Again, we've spoken about this before. It's one I find, that waking up in the morning with that
Yeah.
that feeling. Yeah, so those sort of things, what scents or smells or would be good to help soothe or calm, really?
There are many that we could use. And again, it's like food. We're all very, very different. And what somebody might find relaxing, another person might find stimulating or absolutely repulsive.
Yes.
Lavender is lovely, but I know a lot of people that can't bear the smell of it. I know some people that are allergic to it.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah, and some do actually find it stimulating. So again, it's finding something that would be good for you. Frankincense is lovely. It's very grounding, very nice, lovely, lovely scent. But again, I would recommend that you start off with a little less is more.
Yeah.
Never use essential oils undiluted. So add them to a carrier, even in the bath. You might want to add them to a little tiny bit of oil or milk or yogurt before you add them, because they need to disperse. Because they're not soluble in water. So if you put loads in your
Yeah.
bath, and that it could end up floating on the
Oh,
top.
okay. So that's why that happens then.
Yeah,
Doing that.
yeah. So you want something that it will mix in with before you put it in there. So yeah, that's another little thing. But yeah, clary sage is very nice. Very balancing as well, really good female oil, quite a euphoric, so uplifting as well.
Brilliant.
Again, but there are times when you wouldn't use it, but that is down to the individual.
Yeah.
Apparently it's very good for helping with contractions when you're in labour as well. So you would definitely not use it when you're pregnant.
No, no. There's a time and a place for all of these.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Geranium again is lovely. If you like the smell, some people can't bear it. It's too floral and a little bit too stimulating for some. It's very uplifting, and great addition for anything that's female related.
Oh,
So,
that's brilliant. I was going to say something, but it has completely gone. What's the brain fog to help maintain? Oh gosh,
basil, that's very
basil.
nice. Yeah, basil, lemon, orange, they're all lovely uplifting
Yeah.
oils, that sort of thing. Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. So you're saying that's uplifted. It's brought it back. So choosing an oil or a scent is as unique as you are, which our menopause experience is a completely unique experience to our friends or the lady across the
Yeah.
road or whoever. So that's really, really important, isn't it? So everything we talk about in terms of midlife and the things we I won't say could be doing is so down to what suits you. So again, if you can't stand lavender, then you don't want that. Just as saying, if you don't like going running, that's not going to work for you for your fitness, or perhaps for your time out, your stress relief. So
Yeah.
it's being aware that your remedies for dealing with your stress is whatever works for you.
Yeah, I mean, I could make up a blend for somebody that the absolute textbook for what they need.
Yeah.
Relaxing. I like to use patchouli in my blends. It's very, very grounding, and it's great for helping you sleep and that. And I feel that it brings a blend together. But if I make up a blend with all of those, you know, I sit there and do a consultation with someone and I make up a blend. If they don't like the smell of it, they're not gonna use it.
No.
So it's all about sort of finding the right things. So
Yeah.
I work with people's personalities, what they like, and that sort of thing. So yeah,
So taking that into account, and like all other treatment, it's bespoke. So again, if somebody was on HRT, it might be a different type or amount to somebody else, because we are so individual.
yeah. You also have to take into consideration health conditions, medication with some, because grapefruits are one for that. Because I think if you're on sertraline, I think it is,
Yeah.
you can't drink grapefruit juice.
I think yes, yeah, that does sound familiar actually.
So I wouldn't use grapefruit essential oil with that. So there are certain things that you wouldn't use with types of medication. So you have to, you know, high blood pressure. You wouldn't use something that was really sedative with someone with very low blood pressure.
No. Oh, crikey, no. So an awful lot again to take into account, into consideration. Yeah, to get everything to sort of work together.
Mm,
So,
yeah,
oh, gosh. Oh, it's fascinating.
it is. It's a wonderful. I love it. Absolutely love it.
And also, again, just another option to have, isn't it? Again, it's an area I don't know much about, but we've worked together before, and again, I've had a couple of treatments with you, which has been amazing. And the products, the spray you made me for that, to spray on my pillow before I go to bed, so that waking up with that. And again, it just helps going to bed with that gentle scent to start with, to ease, and then if I need it again in the morning, just to help initially calm things down. It's just amazing how that has an effect. Other ways again for dealing with stress, I think we mentioned before, is acknowledging it, but even just writing it down. We said about journaling, a bit like meditation. It might suit some, it might suit others. I've tried to journal and I end up thinking, what do I write? Do I just put, it's just, so again, maybe I need to persevere with it, but sometimes just writing, having a brain dump before bed or during the day when we've got so much going on, can be a great way to lift that stress a little bit, because you can look at what's in front of you. What do I need to be looking at? What can I do? What can I control? And so it's those control the controllables. What can I actually do in action and get it done? What do I need some help with? Or what actually I just need to think, right, I can't deal with that till next week, let's leave it. Which again can help with that overall feeling of like stress and so much going on.
Yeah, and the memory, it's not quite there. So I'm finding I'm writing to-do lists. So I know, because I can think of something and within 2 seconds it's just gone. Where it goes, I just don't know, but it's just gone. So I do tend to write things down, and I use the notes function on my phone a lot, just to write things in that I
Yes,
remember.
that's true. We've got all that. I suppose we can do that. We've got voice notes, all sorts. As long as we don't, I suppose, create so many lists, we get stressed by thinking, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's when we then have to be picky and say, right, this is what I'm going to deal with now or today.
Yeah. What's achievable? How much time have I got? What can I do? Because I think we're all, again, that stresses us out. We all try to cram so much in and then beat ourselves up because we haven't done it.
Yeah. It's then making sure that we find the time so that we can have that. We've been chased by the tiger all day. We now need that stop time to rest and digest. And whether that is, after dinner and the dishes are all done, you sit or you do something of an evening, or whether you only get a chance to have an hour or something during the day, is finding that time where you can just switch off for a while, let everything sort of settle down a little bit, ready for you then to continue, but you've had that break in between.
And something you enjoy, something that you're going to want to sit down for a half an hour or an hour to do.
Yes.
You know, again, if we, oh, I've got to have a break, I've got to do this exercise and that. If it's not enjoyable, we're not going to do it. So it's just finding that joy,
Yeah.
something that brings you joy. If it's reading a book, scrolling through your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just finding something that works for you.
That's a really good thing, actually, saying, does this bring me joy? Can you lose yourself in it? That's the thing as well, because when you're then you're not thinking about the past, the future, you're really present and within what you're doing. Oh God, there is a word as a all that. Is it flow or something where you're just literally in that? I find I don't get into that much at the moment. It's something, again, I need to work on. But my husband can be lost for hours in the garage just pottering or working on something, and he's completely in the zone and just not aware of anything else, which again can be a bit of a cause a bit of stress sometimes. But you know, he's there, so he gets his switch off time. He's just totally absorbed with what it was or whatever he's doing.
My husband can do that as well. I mean, he can read the paper and you could talk to him and he's got no awareness at all. Whereas I've got ears everywhere. Just one little flick of the door switch or something, or something, and I'm there. I'm sort of like, it's like bright shiny objects, isn't it? You're in this direction and that direction and that. He's not like that. He can really focus and absorb himself into whatever it is he's
Which
doing.
is a great thing to do. And I suppose perhaps if that causes a stress or maybe slight irritation, sometimes we have to sort of accept, okay, well, that's how he can deal with that, which is brilliant. So what can I do to deal with that? Do I just need to accept and go, right, that's how things are? Or do I need to be less on it with everything else for me and say, okay, well, if it's all right to leave something, I will leave it. Or can I delegate it to somebody else to take away that stress so I could then perhaps focus more on being in the flow of what I'm doing as well?
Yeah.
As always, there's just so much we could consider, but it's having the time and the space to do that. And I think that's where it comes down to making the time and the space to do that. It hasn't got to be, you know, days away or weeks away, which would be lovely, but it's something that is sustainable and we can do daily. We can make it part of our routine, whether it may be first thing in the morning when you get up and have that first cup of tea or something. Write down, what do you need today? What's got to get done? So you start off knowing where you're coming from and what you can manage. So I can hear the dog scratching away there, so ignore him. So it's making time for you to address what you need to address that day and what you need.
Yeah. I think another thing is, I'm definitely guilty of it. When I decide that I want to make a change, I don't just change one thing. I try and change loads of things.
Right.
And then I get disillusioned, I suppose, when I'm sort of like even more stressed because I'm trying to do all these different things. So maybe just one thing, change one thing. And when that becomes a habit,
That's really
or the norm for you, you're more comfortable. And if it's making a difference, then try something else.
yes. That's a really good point. And actually adding to that as well is sometimes perhaps because we want instant results. So if we think, well, I need to do that, I'll do that, we'll do it all at the same time. We then don't know what's giving us the results. Well, it might be we don't see or feel the results for quite a while. So
Yeah.
again, maybe with the breathing or the tuning, it might take a few days, it might take a few weeks, but then maybe, boom, we've got that wow.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, then as you say, let's look at something else that might work. So yeah, honing it down to one thing.
Yeah, it is. It's really, I mean, I wouldn't expect to go to an exercise class and come one exercise class and come out fully fit and to have lost half a stone. I mean, in one session.
That's, yeah.
And it's the same with any new practice you put in place, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is practice and, dare I say it, patience.
Yes, which sometimes when we've got so much going on and plates spinning, it's very hard to find that patience.
Yes, it is.
I suppose even just acknowledging, okay, I need to find time, we're registering that fact, is a step in the right direction. Well, I'm going to make some time for that 3 breaths once a day, then maybe twice a day, or even when you go to bed,
Yeah.
you're lying in bed and you're doing your breathing, or when you wake up, if you wake up with that feeling, what can we do to help? So make that part of the routine.
And also the way we breathe as well, because when we're stressed, we've got very shallow breathing. So a deep breath right into the belly, so it fills right into the base of your lungs, and then really concentrate on the out breath, which again helps to sort of lower, just calm everything down. So you're, slowing that down rather than rapid 3 breaths. I mean, I'm sure it helps, but
Yeah, so always having that slightly longer exhale is that key, isn't it? Which then the switches on that. I use a parasympathetic nervous system.
Oh,
The rest, it's not ridiculous.
yeah.
Autonomic. We've got our autonomic, our one that just takes over and does stuff we don't think about. And
Sympathetic.
sympathetic and parasympathetic. So the parasympathetic is the slow down and rest. So on that exhale, we increase that relax. Yes. Shall we would you like to again just talk through perhaps 3 breaths maybe? I'd happily sit here, close my eyes and just
Yeah.
and then just wrap up and finish off with any sort of top tips, or we can find out a bit more how we can get in touch with you to perhaps discuss scents and things further. But so if anyone right now is watching, I haven't checked the phone because I know we're live in the group as well, or at a later time, if we want to take that couple of moments for those 3 breaths, what should we do?
Okay, so find a comfortable position, sitting in the chair. Try and lower shoulders. Put your feet on the floor and just close your eyes. Now start just thinking about how you're breathing. Notice the air and then how it feels as it's going into your body. Might be that you're breathing into your chest. Now take a slow, gentle breath in through your nose. And as you breathe in, try to breathe right down into your tummy, so that as you're breathing, your tummy rises. And now, without holding your breath, breathe out through your mouth and breathe out completely. And in your own time, take another slow, gentle breath in through the nose, allowing your tummy to rise. And breathe out. Breathing in through the nose. And breathe out completely. And when you feel ready, come back into the room.
That's amazing, actually. That was lovely. That real sense of just, and yeah, it was lovely. Thank you very
A bit lightheaded.
always a little bit, but and slightly warm, actually. Just I think feeling that the connection with feet on the floor and just being aware, perhaps again, of the body. We've got that connection, the shoulders, following the breath, feeling the expansion in our tummies, and then following the breath out. Yeah, lovely. So that was what, probably less than a minute, maybe a minute. So, at times where we are perhaps sitting in the car getting stressed or something stressing us out, can we just use that breath?
Use the breath. We have to breathe. So that is the easiest, without any tools or anything like that. You've got the breath, it's there. It's just a case of slowing it down and just focusing it. And while you're focusing on your breathing, you're not thinking about anything else because you're focusing on that breath.
So that's another good point, actually. Again, if we are really stressed at any time, just notice the breath. Just come back. So if the mind wanders, just come back to that breath, following it in, following it out. Oh, it was lovely. Thank you. That really was. So if anybody would like more information about essential oils and things to help alleviate stress or any menopausal symptoms, anxiety and things, where's best to get hold of you?
I've got a website, which is therapeuticAromas.co.uk. It says all about my contact details, and also my clinic days are Wednesdays and Saturdays. So you come for a nice balancing reflexology treatment, which is also good for managing stress and helping with symptoms. Yes, so all my contact details are on there. I've got a Facebook page, which is Therapeutic Aromas. I can never remember what it is, by Sarah Howard, I think. So I'm on there as well. So
what I'll do, I'll copy those links and put them in the comments below.
Oh, thank you.
Access to them, so if people want to find out more, that'd be.
But if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to email me, and I'll be more than happy to.
Let me just, because I really wasn't paying attention to the Facebook page, so I do apologise if you're
Oh no, don't worry. I've probably said it wrong anyway. I think it's Therapeutic Aromas by Sarah Howard or something like that.
Oh, look, I can just see we are live, but I'm going to double noise. It's going to loop now. So any questions? Sorry, oh yeah, Nick has just sort of said getting into the flow. Yes, yeah, so brilliant. So thank you. I can't even turn that off now. There we go. So yeah, see tech.
Oh, I'm rubbish with tech.
Yeah, stress, but anyway, with breath, we're calm. It's worked. We're streaming live. People can catch up. Again, if you watch later on and catch up, that'd be brilliant. Just do a hashtag replay or just give us a thumbs up and let us know what you thought, and yeah, that you've joined in with us this week. So on that note, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and again, being able to talk to you about this. I've come away with feeling much calmer after that breath work, and again, knowing that I can explore more options with oils and just different ways of relaxing and yeah, dealing with stress during this life stage, which is an exciting life stage.
Absolutely.
Which, and again, you know, the stress part, some of the stress can be great because, you know, we're different, we can push ourselves in different ways now, and, you know, lots more possibilities, but at the same time, it's still just stressful for just day-to-day stuff. So yeah. Thank you very much. It's been super. I will just finish on Facebook, so bear with me a second.